West playing right now. That's a huge game. And then you've got Oak Ridge sitting there at third and looking like this Wildcat team is going to secure itself into the playoff spot. Of course, this game against Mount Juliet does nothing for the playoffs tonight.
No, but it's a good experience for this younger Oak Ridge squad to be able to travel this far, experience an atmosphere like this. It'll help them moving forward in the playoffs.
You look at Mount Juliet in Class 6A, Region 4, undefeated, looking to go undefeated in this, I say undefeated in the region, and most people predict them to stay undefeated and win this region.
Yeah, they're the real deal in this region, so look for them to take this one easy.
All right, so those are our region standings. You don't know a lot about Mount Juliet? Well, that's not surprising. Our station is in East Tennessee. Most of our viewers probably in East Tennessee. Mount Juliet over there, just east of Nashville in Middle Tennessee. But Mount Juliet is a town of about 33,000 people. Some famous people from Mount Juliet and who live in Mount Juliet, probably most notably Charlie Daniels, lives in Mount Juliet, along with Daryl Worley, a country singer, and the Kings of Leon. Have you heard of them?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I love the Kings of Leon. Yeah. So it's made up of brothers, the Followill family, and grads of Mount Pleasant High School. So that's interesting. Amanda Butler, the current women's basketball coach at Florida, is also a graduate of Mount Juliet High School.
Wow.
She played college at MTSU and is now the head basketball coach for the women at Florida. You've also got Bobby Hamilton, a former Craftsman Truck Series champion, passed away, but when he passed away from cancer, he was a resident of Mount Juliet. You see there, located in Wilson County, established in 1854. This is the Golden Bears. That's their mascot. You got the principal, Miss Leanne Rainey, athletic director Michael Duncan. Their coach is Trey Perry. They compete in Region 4, Class 6A, an enrollment of 2,228 kids, and they've won Region 4, 6A the last 3 years. All right, so let's talk about this game. As you see our captains meeting out on the field, if this game was played last year or the year before last, most people would agree that we'd be in a barn burner. This year, however, Oak Ridge hasn't met the potential some thought they could see, but Mount Juliet isn't the same team either. What do you expect in this matchup?
Well, this is going to be a great matchup tonight. Mount Juliet is 36-7 since 2016 with several deep runs in the playoffs, so they have had a lot of success. This year they've had 2 close losses to the likes of Stewart's Creek, who only had 1 loss to an undefeated Gallatin team. Mount Juliet is a tough team who will be a challenge for this Oak Ridge Wildcat team.
And if you look at Mount Juliet's schedule, lost to Stewart's Creek, who lost to Gallatin. Mount Juliet also lost to Gallatin. Those are the 2 losses there. So the other time we saw Oak Ridge, it was a convincing loss to West. How much is the coaching staff willing to make major changes to scheme and personnel in middle of the season? And do you think this is an avenue Oak Ridge might toy with tonight?
I believe they already have. Oak Ridge has had more success offensively since we last saw them. They've scored 87 points in the last 2 ball games. And a lot of that is because of the talented Oak Ridge quarterback, Mitchell Gibbons, who has 16 touchdowns with over 800 yards, but only 3 interceptions. That's huge. He doesn't turn the ball over, and that's what you got to have. Yeah. So I do think Oak Ridge has tweaked some things and expect that to continue here tonight.
And you see the receiving leaders for Mitchell Gibbons, Isaiah Johnson, Tyrell Romano. We'll see a lot of them tonight. Oak Ridge is playing Mount Juliet, which is a really good 6A program. Oak Ridge is 5A. Does the size of the school matter much once you start getting into these bigger classifications?
Yes, it always does. Emphasize, bold, underline. The more students you have to choose from, the better your team program should be. Oak Ridge High has around 1,387 students enrolled. Mount Juliet has 2,145. So Mount Juliet has 758 more kids to choose from, and that's a big difference.
So Mount Juliet has won the coin toss. They defer to the second half. Oak Ridge will receive the football to start this game. What are the keys for Oak Ridge to get the big win here?
Oak Ridge cannot afford any turnovers tonight. They have got to have more success offensively to be able to pull out a win tonight. Be aggressive. Take some shots down the field. Let's get that momentum going and make some big plays and get fired up, and you might be able to pull one out tonight.
Should be a great game. We are very excited for it. Mount Juliet, Tennessee getting the 7 o'clock Central kick going on here. So a little bit later for you guys joining at home. You're used to the 7:30 kickoffs, and, well, it's just 30 minutes. So that's not that bad.
No, but we have a beautiful night tonight. The weather's perfect. Shouldn't see many cramps, but this is a great atmosphere down here. All the athletic facilities up here at Mount Juliet are impeccable. So it's a really great environment here.
We've got Tyler Johnson set to kick off for Mount Juliet. Kickoff tonight sponsored by Regina Copeland, who is the Anderson County trustee. And here's the kick. Taken at the goal line. It will be returned. Out to the 15, and that's where Isaiah Johnson is stopped. Maybe got the 16, and that will bring up a Hammers 1st and 10 to begin this ball game.
He took a big hit, and he's kind of slow going to the sideline. That's one of those heavy Friday night.
And that is one of Oak Ridge's best players. You definitely don't want to see him get banged up on the first play of the game, but kickoffs are dangerous.
They really are, and that's a head-to-head type of hit, and you don't want to see that. So it is what it is, but Mount Juliet's making their self known early.
Kendall Jackson, the man in the backfield. Gibbons will throw on first down. It's intercepted to the 10, to the 5. Touchdown, Mount Juliet.
Yeah, the quarterback read that one read the entire time, and Mount Juliet's quarterback read it the whole time, picked it off, ran in for touchdown. That's a great play by the cornerback. Unfortunate play by the quarterback, who we said only had 3 interceptions earlier. Make that 4 now. He read that the whole way. You got to be able to look that off a little bit to try to delay that. But if you can come back here shortly and try to stop and go, you might be able to get him there.
So it takes 11 seconds for us to get a Tim Shelton touchdown for the Mount Juliet Bears, as they will line up, and Johnson will attempt this extra point.
Worst case scenario for Oak Ridge.
So the extra point is up. It is good. Mount Juliet strikes first on a pick 6. They lead this one 7-0 in your OEB Law Game of the Week.
Dedicated soldier, and during his days off, Greg enjoyed riding his motorcycle. But none of that mattered to the speeding driver who was texting and slammed into him. Greg had medical bills the insurance company refused to pay until Greg called OEB Law. When you get injured, don't expect the insurance company to put your needs first. Call OEB Law, 546-1111, and turn your wreck into a check.
Back at Mount Juliet, the Golden Bears strike first off a pick 6.
Yeah, this is a great play by the cornerback. He read the quarterback the whole time. It looked like it was a called play in the offensive huddle. The quarterback keyed that wide receiver the whole time, never took his eyes off of him. And the cornerback did a really good job of picking up on that, reacted to the play, got good hands, and walked into the end zone.
So we have a Regina Copeland trustee kickoff again, but this is like the start of the game, and it's like Oak Ridge is starting the game down 7-0.
Yeah, and you kind of spot 7 for being a home team, so really it's sort of like being down 14. And that's the worst case scenario if you're Oak Ridge. So we'll see how they respond here. Hopefully they'll come out ready, fired up, and try to get the 7 on the board.
So here's Johnson's kickoff. That's Tyler Johnson. Kicks it into the end zone. It's fumbled away. That will be a touchback, and Oak Ridge will have a Hammers 1st and 10. Now, of note, Isaiah Johnson was not back deep to receive that kick. It was Jalen Hayward instead. Johnson took a huge hit, one of Oak Ridge's better players, and he was not in there to receive that kickoff, so we'll keep an eye on that.
You got 2 plays. One was an interception for a touchdown, and the other was basically losing Johnson potentially here for the whole game. So that's worst case scenario for Oak Ridge. Let's see how they respond.
So Oak Ridge putting Tyrell Romano and Kendall Jackson in the backfield. Now they're going to send Romano out. Jackson gets the handoff from Gibbons, picks up some pretty good running room up to the 25-yard line, That's where he's tackled. So pickup of about 5 on first down.
Good job by the offensive line creating a little wiggle room there. And him trying to make some moves there to break it for a little bit more. So not a bad job overall. He made somebody miss and picked up a pretty good gain.
As we see on the Ancoria replay,
A good running back, Aaron, will always make the first defender miss.
and that's what Jackson did on that play. So Gibbons gets the play from the sideline out of that shotgun formation, passes it out wide. That is Romano getting upfield, and he's tackled. A short pickup there.
Third and manageable here. And I know they're going to be nervous throwing the football, but see on that play, if he could have had forward momentum there, if he could have got a little deeper and caught that ball moving forward, he would have had more of an opportunity to pick up more yardage. When you catch that ball and your feet are standing still, it slows you down dramatically.
And I apologize, that's actually Dodie Truss, who is in for Isaiah Johnson, who's not out there right now. So, 3rd and 2 is what the Wildcats face on their second offensive possession.
Watch for zone read.
Handoff goes to Romano. He gets the Hammers 1st and 10, and that will move the sticks.
And that's a good play call. You bring the wide receiver in motion to drag that safety across the field, and you come back with a zone read option play, which he probably didn't have an option there. He was probably told to hand that ball off, and I don't blame him a bit, and they pick up the first down. Pretty good play.
So sent Romano out to the left, didn't send Romano. They sent Jackson out to the left, probably made the defense look that way, and then run it over right tackle. So Hammers 1st and 10 for Gibbons and crew. Gibbons, handoff. That goes to Romano, and Romano's stuffed at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, anytime you've got two backs in the backfield in that type of formation, the best policy if you're a defensive coordinator is send pressure, because the odds are they're going to be handing off the football. So always look to get pressure if you have two backs.
A pickup of 1, as we saw on the Ancoria public defender replay. So Gibbons again looks to the sideline to get the play.
And so far, almost everything's been a lot of zone read option type plays and a lot of quick routes. See the fullback close to the quarterback. Expect like a dive type play to him or pass block.
Gibbons drops back to pass, lets it fly. He's got a man there. Had to adjust, trying to hit Jonathan Stewart on that long pass, and quarterback had time to get there and make a play on it.
He really did. There was pressure that pass incompletion should be credited to the defensive line. They got pressure on the Oak Ridge quarterback, which made the throw a little bit uneasy, and it was short.
Gibbons lines his team up, and he just looks to the sideline to get the play. That's what they do. They line up, then get the call once they see where the defense is lined up. So here's Gibbons. Again, got Romano and Jackson in the backfield with him. Drops back to pass, quick out, and the pickup of not enough goes to Jonathan Stewart. It's going to bring up a 4th down for Oak Ridge.
Punt the ball and play tough defense here and keep them out of the end zone. We're back in this ballgame.
And that's what we're going to see as we see on the Ancoria replay.
Now watch this punt return team of Mount Juliet. They are lined up heavy on this. Look, they possibly going to try to block this.
Brady Hudson, the place kicker and punter for this Oak Ridge team, gets one off cleanly. It's a wobbly spiral taken, and a fair catch is made at about the 31-yard line, and that was Devin Palmer. So that brings up a Hammers 1st and 10 for Mount Pleasant. Rick Chin, Oak Ridge Mayor Pro Tem, wishes the Wildcats good luck tonight. And Attorney Jim Norman, a member of the 1979 state championship team, says, "Go Wildcats, beat the Golden Bears." And we'll get to see the Golden Bears' first offensive possession here. And first play from scrimmage for Mount Juliet is a handoff that doesn't go for much at all.
Yeah, Oak Ridge really reacted well to that. They did a good job of shedding blocks up front to be able to get some pressure on that running back so he could not pick up a pretty good gain.
And that was Conlon Baggett on the handoff. A junior on this team is getting some interest from some colleges. Now, here's a quick out. Goes to Malik Bowen, the Duke commit. Gets it up to about the 39-yard line, just shy of a first down.
Yeah, he's a really good athlete, and to have an offer from an ACC program, you've got to be the real deal. And he is, academically and athletically.
Yeah, because Duke is an academic school, which makes it hard to win there, as people know.
And that's why David Kuckless been a National Coach of the Year several times over there.
And we've got a flag on the play, and that's going to be an offsides on Oak Ridge. The 5-yard penalty will give the Golden Bears a Hammers 1st and 10.
You can't have it if you're Oak Ridge. Last time we covered Oak Ridge, they had too many penalties. And hopefully they can slow that down a little bit here tonight because they will need it.
So here's a handoff going around the right sideline. There's a flag in the backfield, however, as Baggett is run out of bounds. This is in the area of a hold. That's exactly what it is, so that'll back the Golden Bears up 10 yards.
I missed the hold. I was watching the outside linebacker for Oak Ridge. You got to be able to keep your head up and make a good solid tackle there. You got to keep your head up to make any kind of tackle. So he's got to do a little bit better job at that.
So here's the Ann Coria replay. Oh, yeah, we saw it right there as a Mount Juliet player.
Easy call.
Yeah, and that penalty was assessed at the original line of scrimmage, so it brings up 1st and 20. And we've got a complete pass around the 40-yard line, so about 7 of those yards made up will bring up 2nd and 13.
In Oak Ridge on defense, that rep had 6 defenders on the line of scrimmage, which is basically going man-to-man at the skill position. And it looks like that's kind of what the game plan is at Mount Juliet. Spread them out, try to get them boxed in and throw the football.
All right, so here is a handoff. Goes up the, actually it wasn't up the middle. The running back, Devin Palmer, cut it back up the middle after going around over the right guard.
Palmer, 5'9", 160. He's a senior for this program, and he's a really good scat back. He's got some really good field vision and quickness.
So that will bring up 3rd and 8 for Mount Juliet on their first offensive possession of the game. Messenger back to pass. Gets it out. His pass is complete, and a tackle is made just shy of the first down marker, and that was great effort by Jamari Sowell.
Very good job of catching that football and getting upfield. He's a small guy, 5'9", 155, but he's got some wiggle to him, as you see on the replay. He can really get upfield.
And Mount Juliet seemingly going to go for it on 4th down, maybe just trying to draw Oak Ridge off as Messenger looks to the sideline after clapping his hands a couple times.
They try to go fast. They get the call from the sideline. No huddle.
And Messenger will snap it. Handoff over the right tackle. He's hit, and it looks like he will have enough for the first down. He'll have it. Hammers 1st and 10, as that time it was Baggett again. And on that play, it looked like Riley Wilson, an offensive lineman for this team, hopped off the field on 1 foot. So we'll keep an eye on that situation as well. Hammers 1st and 10 for Mount Juliet. Bryce Messenger, the quarterback. Handoff goes to Baggett. Baggett has a lot of room going up the right sideline to the 20,
He's
to
gone.
the 10, to the 5, into the end zone. That's a touchdown. Mount Juliet picking up the Tim Shelton touchdown.
And just like that, it's 13-0. They have skilled athletes all over the field. They are small, but they are fast. And Oak Ridge athletes is having a hard time keeping up with them on any type of long type of play.
So Mount Juliet had to pick up a 1st down conversion off of 4th down. So I guess I should say a 4th down conversion. But the play right after that gets them into the end zone. And now we will have an extra point attempt from Tyler Johnson. Snap, set, kick, good. Mount Juliet now up 14-0. 4:45 left to go in the first quarter of your OEB Law game of the week. Back in the OEB Law game of the week, the Golden Bears of Mount Juliet lead this one 14-0 with 4:45 left to go in the first quarter. If you're just joining us, Oak Ridge's first play from scrimmage as they got the ball to receive this game, a pick six puts the Golden Bears up 7-0. Oak Ridge's ensuing possession, punt the ball away, and Mount Juliet drives down the field, converting a 4th and 1. And then getting into the end zone by way of Conlon Baggett. And that's where we sit right now as Tyler Johnson will make the Regina Copeland trustee kickoff.
Oak Ridge has got to get something going offensively to keep that powerful offense of Mount Juliet off the field. They got to be able to slow them down defensively, limit the big plays. So the skill athletes are going to have to really start tightening up on their man coverage.
So the kickoff goes to the 1 yard line where it's taken, up to the 10, to the 15, to the 20. Good return there. And that looks like Jalen Hayward again summing in for the injured Isaiah Johnson, which is another storyline of this game. Johnson was injured on the very first play as he returned to kickoff for Oak Ridge.
Yeah, like I said earlier, it was just devastating for this Oak Ridge program. The first play of the game, have your best player knocked out of the game. And they haven't responded well to that. So it's been pretty rough half of football for the Oak Ridge program.
As we see the return on the Ann Coria public defender replay, Oak Ridge will have it with a Hammers 1st and 10 at the Wildcat 25-yard line. Gibbons sends a man in motion, that's Jackson, gets it out to him at the 20. The ball is dropped, and they're going to call that an incomplete pass as Kendall Jackson can't handle it.
Which is a good thing, because that was fixing to be a big loss if they did say that was a catch.
So in the Ann Coria replay, we see that Jackson was being heavily pursued. So 2nd and 10 for Oak Ridge.
And Mount Juliet is only rushing 4. So this is a very talented defensive front for Mount Juliet. They are big and they are fast.
Gibbons. Handoff goes to Jackson. Gets a little bit of running room, breaks the tackle up to the 30, about to the 35. He's going to be close to the Hammers 1st and 10.
Let me tell you, that's what I like to see out of a running back. You lower them shoulder pads and you pick up what you can, and he did right there. And he came hard. You see on the screen, 73 carries, 338 yards, 4 touchdowns. He's the real deal, and that's a tough running back. We've mentioned that several times this year, both times covering him. He's a hard guy to bring down.
And the ball is spotted at the 35-yard line, which makes it a Hammers 1st and 10. Great run by Jackson, as we see on the Ann Coria replay. Breaks the tackle, and he's a finesse back in that he can make you miss, but he's also not afraid to get hit either. So here's Gibbons lined up in the shotgun. Rolls a little bit to his right, drops back to pass. It's in the air. Man is there. It's caught up to the 50 across midfield. And we've got a flag for a late hit. On the reception is Jonathan Stewart, and we'll have another Hammers 1st and 10.
That's a big play, a big break for Oak Ridge. Just any kind of positive yards, we'll take it and move down this field. So that's a big mistake by Mount Juliet.
So on the Ann Coria replay, we'll see this late hit out of bounds as Stewart catches it.
Pretty close play, really.
And is tackled out of bounds. The official was right there. That tacks on another 15 yards. I think that play stopped at the 48, which will spot the ball at the 33. They're going to make it the 34-yard line, and that's where Oak Ridge is. Mount Juliet territory started this game in a hole, down 14-0, really, but Oak Ridge is driving.
Now this is where a two-back type formation comes in really handy in any type of threatening position. So let's see what they do.
Jackson in motion out to the left. Gibbons takes a snap. Hands off to Romano. Romano gets it up to the 30. up to about the 28-yard line. That's a pretty good run for first down.
That's a great run. He pushed the pile. He refused to go down and used those legs to push the pile forward.
So we'll give him a pickup of 6. We'll call it second and a long 4.
Replay. Hands it off, and you see down at the bottom of the screen, number 1 standing there, so he has an opportunity to fake that handoff, come back up and throw that out there in the flat. So look for that play coming up sometime.
Mitchell Gibbons. Handoff. This time goes to Romano again. No.
Trouble.
No. I didn't see that coming. I didn't see that.
Great option play. He even fooled Aaron Harvey on it. It was a great play. Good job of that quarterback. He kept that ball, and he laid out a mean stiff arm on that defender of Mount Juliet. He went in the end zone. He refused to go down.
Mitchell Gibbons on the quarterback keeper gets the Tim Shelton touchdown. Nobody knew he had the ball.
Look at that.
Then he breaks the tackle.
Classic. Looked like Tim Tebow running that football there.
Thank you, Ann Coria, for giving us another look at that one, because I certainly didn't see it as it was happening. Great play design, puts Oak Ridge in the end zone. And now we'll have Brady Hudson attempting the extra point. It's up over the net and good. So Oak Ridge strikes back, trails this one now 14-7 at Mount Juliet in our OEB Law Game of the Week. So the Wildcats get off to a rough start, but put 7 on the board to cut the lead in half in our OEB Law Game of the Week. 3:27 left to go in the first quarter, and we will have the Regina Copeland kickoff, courtesy of Brady Hudson.
Mitchell Gibbons just refused to go down on that touchdown play. That was impressive. And that got that Oak Ridge sideline fired up. They're ready to come out and play some tough defense.
They're not laying down, that's for sure. Mag deep to receive is Jamari Sowell for Mount Juliet. Ball bounces at the 10. Sowell picks it up at about the 6. Crosses the field, gets up to the middle. Now crosses the 30. He's got running room. There is a flag on the play, but taken down at midfield is Sowell. A great return, but a flag is sitting at the 35-yard line.
About have to be holding, and you hope so if you're Oak Ridge.
Or
a big play.
Or a block in the back. And now the official decided he didn't throw it in the right place, so it's at the 27-yard line. It is a block in the back.
That's a big break.
Yes, because that was a wonderful return, as we see on the Ancoria replay.
Now, on this, what sprung this big play, you'll see down here at the bottom of the screen, is what you call a safety man. He's this far side guy. His job is to contain that running back, keep him inside. And you see he lost that, which allowed the Mount Juliet player to be able to bounce outside, pick up a big gain.
And on the tackle, it was the kicker, Brady Hudson, and he's the guy you don't want to see making that tackle, because that means it was a great return.
Yeah, you have to do your job. All 11 players have a particular job to do, and if one person fails at that, that's when big plays start to happen.
So now it'll be a Hammers 1st and 10 from the Mount Juliet 17-yard line.
Oak Ridge coming out in a 5-man defensive front.
Bryce Messenger.
Oak Ridge is making them throw.
Sends his single back in motion before Messenger takes it himself. Has a lot of running room, and in fact, we've got a foot race. He loses the football.
Oh, my goodness. You want to talk about a lucky bounce.
Messenger had open field in front of him. The only tackle would have come from behind, and he drops the football.
Mount Juliet is lucky that ball bounced right back into his hands. He's running. He's still running, Aaron, if he holds on to that football.
Now, as we see this on the Ancoria replay, that was a great run by Messenger.
Like a loaf of bread.
And it just squirts out of there. As we see the Hammers 1st and 10. Messenger again keeps it and picks up about 6 yards, 7 yards, 8 yards. So Oak Ridge is going to have to account for that quarterback keeper. So 2nd and 2 for the Golden Bears up at the 49-yard line. Handoff now as the running back crosses midfield, but we do have a flag on the play. Not exactly sure what that's in the area of, except maybe a face mask.
Big break.
Yeah, a block in the back call on Mount Juliet. And that's a 10-yard penalty. So instead of a probable first down, you've got a block in the back, and now a big penalty against Mount Juliet makes it a 2nd and 11.
Even more importantly, it slows that offense down. Anything to slow them down is in favor of Oak Ridge.
Here's Messenger, keeps it, rolls to his right, looks downfield, and it almost picked off. And on that play was Preston Turner. Turner trying to make up for the kickoff because he was the safety man that you were talking about that's supposed to turn the runner back in. He didn't get it there, but almost came up with a big interception as we see on the Ancoria replay.
Almost got to come down with it, young man. You got to be able to catch that ball. That's the difference between 14 and 7. He could have potentially walked that into the end zone. But he did a really good job breaking on the football.
3rd and long for the Golden Bears. Isaiah Messenger drops back to pass, being pressured, and now rolls to his right, and he's sacked.
Big sack. That comes in big, and with a broken hand.
That is Jacob Adams, the leading tackler on this team, does have a broken hand, courtesy of his brother Cole. That happened in practice, and that's going to force Mount Juliet to punt the ball away.
He is one of the best linebackers in that entire region. 35 solo tackles, 33 assists, 1.5 sacks, 11 tackles for loss, 2 fumble recoveries, 1 touchdown. Jacob Adams, that is the real deal.
So here's the punt. It is an ugly, wobbly spiral, and it's going to go out of bounds at the 45-yard line of Oak Ridge.
They have a great opportunity here with 1:17 left on this clock to be able to tie this ball game.
That was a really bad punt. I'm not sure if it was touched, but that ball goes out of bounds. Let's look on the Ancoria replay.
It wasn't touched. He was nervous when he caught the ball.
It was ugly. And so the ball is going to be spotted at the Wildcat 45-yard line, where they will have a Hammers 1st and 10.
And Mount Juliet got a favorable spot on that, too.
Gibbons, Romano, and Jackson in the backfield. Handoff goes to Romano. No! Gibbons, he's faking me out. I cannot believe I don't know when he has the football.
He's doing a good job of selling that fake. The linebacker, you ain't the only one faked out there, and those linebackers are sucked in there tight, too. Would have liked to saw him pitch that, but to get that ball in the speedster's hands, and let's see what happens. Right here, pitch that ball, he's walking into the end zone.
Yeah, had he pitched that ball to Jackson.
He scored earlier. He's fired up. That's what happens. But you want to see him be a little bit smarter.
So we do have a timeout on the field. Greg and Beth Palmer wishing the best of luck to the Wildcats tonight. District Attorney General for the 7th Judicial District, Dave Clark, says, "Go Wildcats. Let's bring home a win to East Tennessee." Liz's Wine and Spirits, a huge supporter of the Wildcats, wishes them the best tonight. Bill Arrowwood wishing the best for the Wildcats as well. The UPS store in Oak Ridge, your printing, packing, shipping, and mailbox center, wishing the Wildcats luck as well. Call 865-220-9782, located at 1143 Oak Ridge Turnpike in Oak Ridge.
Gibbons looks up, gets the call from the sideline.
Gibbons is so good at that keeper. Brings up another Hammers 1st and 10. Oak Ridge on the move. Gibbons. He does hand off this time, and it goes to Jackson. Jackson making his way up, gets to close to the 40-yard line. A pickup of, let's call it 4, will bring up 2nd and 6.
And we were just talking about how good of a job that Gibbons is doing with that fake. Well, that time it was not a very good ball. He never quite got a good grip on the ball until very late in the play. But this Mount Juliet squad, they have a very fast skill position guys. They're undersized, but they can move really well. Their linebackers are sitting in there about 170 to 185 pounds. So they run really well sideline to sideline, but Oak Ridge is physically bigger.
So Oak Ridge content to take this one into the second quarter. Mount Juliet, the Golden Bears, leading 14-7. But Oak Ridge with some confidence trying to move the football. We'll have second quarter action when we get back on the OEB Law Game of the Week. Welcome back into our OEB Law Game of the Week. 2nd and 7 is what the Oak Ridge Wildcats will have on the Mount Juliet side of the field at the 41-yard line, trailing this one 14-7 as we begin the second quarter. Here's Gibbons, and we've got a stop in the play.
Whew, and I'm glad play was stopped because it was about to be interception.
False starts on the Wildcats, so that will make it a 2nd and 12.
Never do you want a penalty, but in that case right there, you would take it because that cornerback was reading that wide receiver the whole time. And if he would have threw that football, that would have been intercepted.
That's how the game started out. Oak Ridge got the ball to begin this one. First play of scrimmage, a pick 6. Put the Wildcats in a hole, but they are trying to climb out of it. Mitchell Gibbons, Romano, Kendall Jackson in the backfield. Gibbons takes the snap. Handoff goes to Romano this time. Good running room up the left side. And a good pickup of about 10 yards.
That's a great run. He refused to go down. He started dragging carriers. That's what Oak Ridge has got to do. Have more success in the running game, which will open up the passing game. And Gibbons has done a great job of managing this football game so far offensively. Got to be careful being too, just reading one guy, keying in on one guy too much in the throwing game.
Romano gets 8. Makes it 3rd and 4. Gibbons, handoff. Romano driving, gets up to the 30, hammers, 1st and 10.
These Oak Ridge running backs are really starting to take over this ball game. That starts up front with that big offensive line. They're getting a good push. They're staying pretty low on these smaller guys of Mount Juliet. Now, that's no... don't get that twisted. Mount Juliet is still very talented up front defensively, especially at the 3 technique, that big defensive tackle.
So now, the Hammers 1st and 10.
Looking at the sideline getting the play. You see on the replay, Mount Juliet just swiping at the football, but he's holding on high and tight, which secures that football.
Gibbons takes the snap, drops back to pass, looks upfield, single coverage.
He's got him.
Oh, the pass falls through the hands of the intended target, which is Preston Turner, but we've got a flag.
You couldn't ask for a better throw by Gibbons. I mean, that was right on the money. Wide receiver should have came down with it, honestly. He put it right there. But looks like hopefully a pass interference here.
Turner had his man beat and got behind the safety help. And there's a pass interference. That's a 15-yard penalty, which is great, but it's not a touchdown.
It really is.
This could have been.
It really could have been, but... Yeah, you see it there. He's holding on to the back of the jersey. It went right through his hands. He put the ball right there. That's such a great play. But what made that play possible was the success in the running game. That made that cornerback bite come upfield and allowed that wide receiver of Oak Ridge to get behind him, which the quarterback put the ball right on the money. The wide receiver needs to come down with that ball. He will regret that in film session.
So now Oak Ridge in a good position. Inside the red zone, ball spotted to 15. Jackson with a handoff, tries to find running room around the left side, picks up 1, maybe 2.
Great tackle by the outside linebacker of Mount Juliet, being able to get him down. Because like we said, he's a back that usually can make that first defender miss. But that linebacker did a really good job of flowing to the football.
Let's look on the Ann Coria replay. And that was Grady Mang, a junior on this team, getting the tackle. So 2nd and 9. Kendall Jackson picks up 1.
Looks to the sideline. He has 5 on the play clock.
Gibbons handoff. Romano gets ahead to about the 18-yard line. Not much there.
Not much there, and that kind of tells me that that was a called play because if he was reading that, he's reading the last man on the line of scrimmage. He was caving in, which should have been a keep and a pitch, but he handed that off. So that was probably a play call.
That was the 13-yard line, not the 18. A pickup of 1 makes it 3rd and 8. The Wildcats probably in field goal range here, but I don't know if that's the route they would go.
Play action here, and you might have a touchdown. Play action with a slant at the top.
And we do have a play action, but here's Gibbons with a pitch to Jackson. Jackson finds running room. Tim Stewart, touchdown.
Just like that, 14-14. Great play.
Tim Shelton, touchdown. Tim Stewart's a dude I know from Oakdale. Sorry, I got that confused. Tim Shelton, redshirt Deeds, touchdown. Great play there. You got the play action that you were talking about. However, you didn't get a pass. The success that Gibbons has had running the football really helped that out, I would think.
He's doing a great job in the option game, and that's Joe Gaddis football, guys. He loves the option.
And Brady Hudson's extra point is wide left, no good. And instead of a tie ball game, it's 14-13 Mount Juliet, but the Wildcats feeling a lot of momentum at this point in the game. It is your OEB Law Game of the Week. Welcome back into our OEB Law Game of the Week. My cohort, James Gibson, is making fun of me because I've eaten some M&Ms. By some, I don't mean just a little.
Just about 1,500 calories worth tonight. I'm sure you'll be wired on the trip back. And you see here on the Regina, or
the Ann Korea
replay, look at that. Ooh, he's got to tighten up on that ball, or he will have that punched out of there eventually. He's going to have to hold that ball high and tight. And if I'm a Oak Ridge coach, I am teaching that on the sideline immediately before that.
So again,
turnover.
Thank you, Ann Korea, for sponsoring our replays tonight. And now we've got a kickoff sponsored by Regina Copeland, taking it at about the 4-yard line. And that is Sowell again. Sowell, a hard man to bring down. And the ball is out, but they're going to call him down.
You know, he is only 5'9", 155, but he runs the ball like he's 6'5", 255. He's a hard guy to bring down.
So let's look at the Ann Korea replay of our Regina Copeland trustee kickoff.
Made the first guy miss, made the second guy miss, third guy miss. That's unacceptable if you're Oak Ridge.
Boy, he's got great hesitation.
Man, that's a close play there. That ball was almost out.
So we do have the Hammers 1st and 10. Not much going for it for Mount Juliet.
Well, if you notice, the defensive game plan for Oak Ridge is sort of crowd that box, stop the run game, make that quarterback beat us, rely on the skill position players of Oak Ridge to be able to slow down that offense. And they're basically going man coverage. So it's not much.
And here's Messenger. Completes a pass out to Malik Bowen. And Bowen, again, that Duke commit, picks up enough for the Hammers 1st and 10.
He's a really good athlete. He runs some really crisp routes. He's got some things he needs to tighten up on, but he is a very good ball player.
So let's look at the Ann Korea replay. Bowen gets it at about the 40-yard line and then picks up about 5 more yards. He had 2 Wildcats right on him. Great play. So here's a handoff to the tailback, and going the other way is Conlon Baggett. Baggett gets it up all the way to the Wildcat 20-yard line from the 45. That is a 35-yard gain for Baggett.
Now watch him. He just sees the little crease, bounces it back inside. Nobody's there. The overflow of Oak Ridge linebackers were really trying to get to that sideline, and he made them pay with a big run right up the gut.
Making the tackle finally for Oak Ridge was Matthew Swigert. So Hammers 1st and 10 as Mount Juliet has entered the red zone. Handoff goes to Palmer. Palmer is stacked up after a gain of about 2.
If Oak Ridge can can make the tackle on the first defender, they can slow down this offense, but they can't keep missing tackles in open field like that. He picked up a few yards after contact. You got to be able to make that tackle there.
So Mount Juliet looking to strike again. Ball is spotted at the Wildcat 18-yard line. Here's Messenger. Rolls out to his right, passes it, and wow, that ball I thought could be intercepted, and then I thought could be caught by Bowen. But as it stands, it's an incomplete, and Mount Juliet will have it with 3rd and long.
Yeah, I'm slinging my headset if I'm the offensive coordinator for Mount Juliet. It hit my wide receiver right in the hands. But the Oak Ridge cornerback, he almost was able to get his hands on it. He better be careful there because that wide receiver should have came down with that ball and walking into the end zone.
Preston Turner about knocked that one away. So here's Bryce Messenger. Fakes the handoff, looks downfield, passes across the middle. That pass is complete to Bowen. And you've got a Tim Shelton touchdown.
Wide open, broken coverage for Oak Ridge. No safety anywhere. So that's just miscommunication. Easy touchdown for Mount Juliet. You can't give a team like Mount Juliet anything easy.
Look on the Ancoria replay. Messenger stepped up in that pocket. My goodness. He was around the line of scrimmage. And now Mount Juliet gonna go for 2. Here's Bowen on the keeper. Tries to get in. He's stopped.
Good job by Oak Ridge of reading that play. Missed opportunity by Mount Juliet because he had people open all in that end zone. And he's slow to get up. That could have an impact on this game later on.
So Mount Juliet packs another one onto the board. It's 2013 in our OEB Law Game of the Week. Welcome back into our OEB Law Game of the Week. Hey, Peter's Jewelers in Oak Ridge has in-house watch and jewelry repair, bridal jewelry, a nice selection of fine jewelry, paying the best prices for your gold. Go Wildcats! And Sexton Automotive of Oak Ridge offering a large selection of quality pre-owned cars and trucks. Plus they offer Napa Care service, and they have a rental department where you can rent vehicles of all sizes, like our van that we rented for tonight. Sexton Automotive of Oak Ridge on the Turnpike. Go to sextonautos.com. As we get ready for our kickoff, sponsored by Regina Copeland, as Mount Juliet will give the ball back to the Oak Ridge Wildcats.
We have a 7-point game here, guys. This is a close ball game. Oak Ridge is fighting hard. Mount Juliet was a little wide-eyed there earlier. So let's see how this Oak Ridge offense comes out and responds here. We was talking about it there on break. It was an interesting play call by Mount Juliet to elect to go for 2 there. Didn't get it, which made a 7-point game. That's a high-risk play, and I'm sure everybody in the stands was wondering what that play call was about.
And now we have a stoppage in play. And I believe we've got a delay of game, which we do, which is going to back the Golden Bears up 5 yards. And instead of kicking from the 40, they'll kick from the 35. How do you... We're in week 9 of 11. You shouldn't be getting delay of games.
Well, the referee needs to do a little bit better job of communicating there a little bit. Normally, high school refs will kind of give you a little nudge. Hey, you're running out of time here, guys. Come on. So, it happens.
Sure, blame it on an official.
If I'm a coach, I'm going, really? Come on. Give me a heads up here, guys. That's after intermission, that's hard to keep up with.
So here's Tyler Johnson to kick off for Mount Juliet. And the kick is up.
We're going to have a return here.
Great kickoff. Taken at the 7 by Hayward. Gets it up to the 15, across the 20. Cuts up the left sideline. Got some running room. And finally going to be run out of bounds just shy of the 40-yard line. Great field position for Oak Ridge to have a Hammers 1st and 10 with 6:27 left in the first half.
Great return. He made several guys move, but when he turned the Jets on, he turned them on in a hurry. He's got some really good speed, and he really made it to the corner and the sideline. Then picked up some tough yardage over there, tiptoeing on the sideline. So he did a really good job.
And that is not Oak Ridge's starting return man. As we told you earlier, Isaiah Johnson is injured, and filling those shoes is Jalen Hayward, a 5'5" junior. So Hammers 1st and 10. Gibbons again out of that same formation we've seen all night long, with Romano and Jackson in the backfield. Gibbons sends Jackson in motion, Gets it to him on a quick out. Jackson with some running room across the 40, lowers his head, gets it up to the 47-yard line, and that's enough for another Hammers 1st and 10.
Great play, and that time, that was the play I was talking about earlier when they threw it and the running back didn't have any momentum moving forward. Well, this time he had a little more momentum moving forward, which was able to spring the play, and that defender of Mount Juliet didn't want any of that was running at him.
Jonathan Stewart with a key block from his wide receiver position to help spring that one. Pickup of 12. Oak Ridge on the move again.
And Oak Ridge isn't really doing anything special on offense, difficult on offense. They're just executing pretty well right now.
Gibbons this time sends Romano out. And Gibbons fakes the pass to him. He's got a man wide open to the 20, to the 10. Can you say, Tim Shelton, touchdown, Oak Ridge?
Great play call. They threw the flat route pass earlier to the running back. This time they fake it and go deep to the wide receiver, and he made his cornerback pay. Looked like the cornerback bit on the play. Let's see what happens here. Safety definitely did, and the wide receiver just made the Mount Juliet cornerback pay and outran everybody to the end zone. That's a really good play for this Oak Ridge offense. Guys, we're in for a great ball game here tonight.
Preston Turner on the reception. And because Mount Juliet went for 2 earlier, they didn't get it. So now Oak Ridge, after the missed extra point last touchdown, has an opportunity to still tie this game with an extra point.
Yeah, that's, I'm just going to go ahead and say it. That's a mistake by that coaching staff of Mount Juliet. They should have never went for 2 there.
So this extra point is good, and we've got a tie ball game, 20-all. With 5:43 left to go in the first half in our OEB Law Game of the Week. Back in our OEB Law Game of the Week, Rick Chin, the Oak Ridge Mayor Pro Tem, wishes the Wildcats good luck tonight, along with attorney Jim Norman, a member of the 1979 state championship team. Go Wildcats, beat the Golden Bears, and the Wildcats in it to win it. As you'll have a kickoff from Brady Hudson, sponsored by Regina Copeland, trustee. This is an exciting football game, as we aren't even, we're just barely halfway into the second quarter. We've got 40 points on the board.
Oak Ridge is representing East Tennessee well.
So here's the kickoff by Hudson, and it will be taken at the 2-yard line. Sowell again, a man that Oak Ridge has had a hard time bringing down, and again they will. Sowell gets up to almost the 40-yard line across the 35, and Mount Juliet again will have great field position to start this drive.
They've got a good opportunity here to try to punch one in, but something I keep seeing on kickoff return teams is that returner, he's waiting on the ball. He's trying to catch that ball. And you see here on the kickoff, he's waiting on the ball. If he can get about 5 yards behind the ball and get a running start to catch the football, that's where you see differences start to really happen in the return game. He's catching that on a full sprint, and he really picks up yards in a hurry.
Bryce Messenger, a keeper, and that doesn't look like Messenger, actually. That's Bowen. So a Wildcat formation for Mount Juliet as Malik Bowen, the Duke commit, back there picks up 3, will bring up 2nd 7.
Trying to get the ball in their hands of their athletes, and he is a really good ball player. Oak Ridge did a really good job of reading that play, and this Oak Ridge defense, they know option football. They see that all the time in practice, so very rarely you're going to have a big play on that Oak Ridge defense.
So handoff goes to Sowell, and Bowen still in the game as Wildcat, and we're hearing that Bryce Messenger, the starting quarterback for this Mount Juliet team, was injured on the extra point.
Steven Swanner, quarterback 6'2", 165, a sophomore, second-string quarterback in the ball game now for the Mount Juliet program. That's a big opportunity for this Oak Ridge defense. I'd be sending pressure, trying to get after this young man.
So Swanner, a sophomore, drops back to pass, lets it fly downfield, nobody home. And that's going to bring up a 4th and long as the Golden Bears having to go to a sophomore quarterback.
And Oak Ridge got pressure, was able to put a hat on him, and that's what you want when you have a younger quarterback coming in here. Not much pressure. I thought I saw more pressure than what I saw, so pretty good job by the defense of keeping some decent coverage.
Tyler Johnson, the kicker and punter for this team.
Timeout, Mount Juliet.
So Mount Juliet will take a timeout, 20 all here in Mount Juliet for the OEB Law Game of the Week. So it's going to be 4th and 9 for Mount Juliet in our OEB Law Game of the Week. Tyler Johnson, the place kicker and punter for the Golden Bears, set to punt this one away out of the timeout.
Got to catch this football. Do not let it roll close to that end zone. Let's start with some good field position here and see if we can get a good, decent return.
Here's the punt. It's
Short
a wobbly spiral. And a fair
that's
catch.
a penalty now. That's a penalty.
That's got to be a penalty.
And they are not throwing a flag. That's plain as day. They've got White Hat's got to come in. They got to talk about this. They're going to throw a flag.
So Jack Rapogel signaled for a fair catch, which was made. Even if he didn't signal for a fair catch, that is an interference.
Flag on the play.
They're not going to call one.
Wow.
I'll just flat tell you that's really, really bad.
You have officials right there on.
They're all watching it.
Yeah,
they're all watching it.
Nobody wanted to pull the trigger. It's always better to throw the flag, talk about it, wave it if you don't think it is. But you got 3 officials right there. If I'm Joe Gaddis, I'm possibly picking up another 15-yarder here. But
I guarantee you.
Proving my point.
So that's very puzzling.
You can't have that.
That's so
20 to 20.
That's so blatant that can't be missed.
No.
So here's Gibbons. Gibbons finds a man and a huge gainer on the play.
Go.
Breaks the tackle. Jonathan Stewart up to the 10. Oh my gosh, I don't believe what I've just seen. Tim Shelton touchdown, Oak Ridge. The Wildcats lead it.
Well, that Oak Ridge sideline knew they should have got a penalty on that play, and they were fired up, and they were aggressive. Athletes all over the field making plays for Oak Ridge. They're representing East Tennessee well, the smaller school coming down here to Mount Juliet, and they're here for a fight. They're saying, hey, we're here, we're mad, we're going to try to win this ball game.
And that looked like just a little post route, or maybe a crossing route. So
it don't matter what it was. He ran in that end zone.
And the extra point this time is good. Wildcats lead it 27-20 with 3:52 left to go in the first half on your OEB Law Game of the Week. The Wildcats expected by most prognosticators to lose this one, not going away that easy.
Well, we knew that this was going to be a close ball game. A lot of people were predicting Mount Juliet to win this big because of lack of offensive production of Oak Ridge this year. But these youngsters of Oak Ridge are really starting to play tough at the end of the year, and they're showing out here tonight.
I gotta say, this doesn't look like the same Oak Ridge team that we saw play West just a few weeks ago. Brady Hudson set to kick off, sponsored by Regina Copeland, trustee. Here's the kick. It's an end-over-ender. It's going to be taken at the 15-yard line and steps out of bounds. So this time they elected not to kick it to Sowell. Instead, it's taken by Christian Donatelli, who immediately steps out of bounds.
He didn't secure the catch, is their argument, but he touched it in bounds. So that's, potential fumble area. There's no argument there. So take it out where he got it. But that's a really good play for Oak Ridge, and it's unfortunate for Mount Juliet. He should have let that ball go out of bounds and get the penalty, but he elected to try to catch it there.
Oh, boy. Yeah, that was a mistake.
Yeah. Mount Juliet was trying to argue that was a penalty.
So Messenger's back in the game, which is good news for Mount Pleasant. And he's going to keep it going up the right sideline. Breaks free. A lot of running room for Messenger. Gets up to about the 35-yard line before he's brought down. That's going to be a Hammers 1st and 10.
That's a good play by the quarterback. He really picked up a big gain there. He found a crease, made a move, picked up a lot of yardage in a quick play.
So,
wow. We had 3 defenders bounce into each other there, so he got a little lucky there.
So remember, Mount Juliet will get the ball to start the second half because the Golden Bears won the coin toss and elected to receive, and we've got a false start on Mount Juliet. Will back them up 5 yards to start this down a distance.
And if you're a Wildcat fan, you'll take anything you can get. That's what'll keep you in top ball games. Let's pick up these penalty yards.
So the Golden Bears behind the sticks, 1st and 15. So here's Messenger. Drops back to pass. It's complete. To the 30. To about the 35. And Oak Ridge ripping at that football. That pass is complete.
Oak Ridge did a really good job of rallying to the football. The defender held up the offensive player, and Oak Ridge was swarming to the football. They did a really good job there because he caught the ball in open field on the hashes, and they closed well. Here came reinforcements to help secure the tackle. So it was a pretty good job. If you can keep that defender from falling forward, as a defensive coach, you'll take that every time.
That was Tayshawn Thompson on the reception, picks up 7, makes it 2nd and 8. Now, on the quarterback keeper, here's Messenger. Crosses the 40, gets it up to about the 41-yard line. We'll give him probably 4 yards.
Every time the quarterback from Mount Juliet runs that football, the Oak Ridge defenders have got to make him pay for running. Let that sink in. It's a mentality, hey, if you touch that ball, you're going to be sore after the play. And that's what they're doing, and it's working. A lot of finesse football up here in the Middle Tennessee area.
So 3rd and 3, Messenger drops back to pass. Now he's going to tuck it and run. Doesn't have a lot of room, but finds room himself. Breaks it outside to the 40, to the 35, the 30. Knocked out of bounds at the 25-yard line. And that's where Mount Juliet will have a Hammers 1st and 10.
Both contained players failed at their job there for the Oak Ridge Wildcats. It started with a defensive end. He lost contain, number 67. His job is to keep that quarterback inside, and he lost that contain. Then the quarterback for Oak Ridge came up too aggressively, got blocked on the inside, which sprung the long play for the quarterback.
So Messenger making it happen on his feet. Now he hands off. This goes to Baggett. Baggett gets nothing.
Good job by the Oak Ridge defense.
Jacob Adams there.
Yeah, I'm telling you, Aaron, he is one of the best linebackers in that region. And if I'm a small college D1 AA coach here tonight, I'm going to find that young man's phone number and talk to his parents.
Pickup of maybe half a yard. We'll call it 2nd and 9. Messenger quickly gets it out to Sowell. Sowell, pass complete up to about the 14-yard line. Will be enough for a Hammers 1st and 10.
Danger territory for Oak Ridge. Mount Juliet, they've got a really favorable matchup out here on the left side.
And now Messenger going to keep it, crosses the 10, gets down to about the 7. The ball pops free. The officials blow it dead, however. So we are under a minute to play. Mount Juliet with 1 timeout. A pickup of 6, as we see on the Ancoria replay. Yeah, that ball squirted out after Messenger was down.
Look out for Malik Bowen, number 3.
Messenger going to keep it. Look out for not that. Tim Shelton, touchdown, Golden Bears.
They found something they like, and that's quarterback runs. He is really taking advantage of the Oak Ridge defense right now. So that drive was basically his alone.
Yeah, Bryce Messenger made everything happen on that drive.
It's pretty impressive that you elect to go with a junior quarterback there over the ACC Duke commit, 6'3", 190 down there on the end zone. That's pretty aggressive football.
So here's Tyler Johnson in to attempt the extra point. The kick is up, and it's good. Tie ball game, 27 all, just 36 ticks left to go in this first half on our OEB Law game of the week. OEB Law game of the week, 27 all, as Mount Juliet punches it in with just 36 seconds to go in this first half. And remember, the Golden Bears will get the ball to start the second half as they won the coin toss, elected to defer to the second half, and then immediately got a pick six from Oak Ridge. So the Wildcats, if they don't turn the ball over and spot Mount Juliet 7 points, could be up in this game right now.
They really could. And guys, if you're just joining us, you missed the pregame. This is a Mount Juliet school that has 758 more kids to choose from than Oak Ridge does. So this is a lot bigger school than Oak Ridge.
So here's our kickoff, sponsored by Regina Copeland, trustee. And
go.
And a lot of running room up to the 30, to the 35, and that's where the returner is going to be brought down, and that's Jalen Hayward.
Oak Ridge has got some juice, tonight. They look like a different ball club than what we saw against Knox West. So they're fired up. They've responded well to this environment down here at Mount Juliet. And they're showing them, say, hey, we're from East Tennessee. We're used to playing these big games every single night.
So here's the Ancoria replay as we see. That's a pretty good return by Hayward. Now here's something to consider. Mount Juliet's going to take a timeout here. Oak Ridge has 3 timeouts remaining with 26 seconds and 65 yards to go for the touchdown, but they could also try to get into field goal range to take the lead into the half. So we're going to have to see how Oak Ridge plays this, as Mount Pleasant basically gives Oak Ridge a chance to talk about it for free, so they won't be charged for the timeout here. So a great game we've got going on, and that makes attorney Jim Normand, a member of the 1979 state championship team, very happy. He says go Wildcats, beat the Golden Bears. Greg and Beth Palmer also wishing the best of luck to the Wildcats tonight, as well as District Attorney General for the 7th Judicial District, Dave Clark, who also says go Wildcats, bring the win back home to East Tennessee, which is exactly what Oak Ridge, Joe Gaddis' team, is attempting to do. So if you are the Oak Ridge Wildcats here, what's your strategy with 3 timeouts left and 26 seconds on the clock?
Well, considering there's been 54 points scored in this first half alone, I'm going to be aggressive on offense because the defenses have really not played great tonight. So I'm playing aggressive. I'm going to throw the football down the field, maybe start with some type of screen.
So let's see what Gibbons does. He sends a man in motion, takes a snap, handoff goes to Jackson. Kendall Jackson picks up 6. We'll bring up 2nd and 4. And Oak Ridge does not appear to want to take a timeout.
If I'm Oak Ridge and, I've got a pretty daggum good field goal kicker, I'm going to take a chance and see if I can get field goal position, try to put 3 more on the board.
But Oak Ridge does not do that. They are content. Tie ball game, all knotted up, stalemate, whatever you want to say. It's the Wildcats and Golden Bears tied up at 27 as we take it into halftime on your OEB Law game of the week.
And every day that I had left trying to sell tickets, or maybe call my dad, say I love him and laugh with him. Take a couple days and get away from this fast living. I don't love my work the way I did, man. This whole business has got me feeling jaded. Friends I had, now they act different. It's all switching. Whoa, yeah. It's pretty hard to watch. Things you used to love turn to things that you wish you forgot. Real moments that make you question the things that you want. Got me growing mentally, but stressing me out till I drop over the top. It's where I live on a daily basis. I always find a way to find the bad in good situations. It's sad, huh? Yeah, I live my life on the edge.
And welcome back to our OAB Law Game of the Week. We are in the Jeff Cole halftime show. Jeff Cole, Anderson County Clerk. For more information, go to andersoncountyclerk.com. Find out what services are offered to you. Tie ball game, 27-all between Mount Juliet and Oak Ridge. Also, I need to apologize. We were joking about it. How many times did you catch me saying Mount Pleasant?
About 12.
Why am I calling it Mount Pleasant?
I only heard it once or twice.
Okay. I have no idea. I mean, I did that. I called my cohort here, James Gibson. We were talking about the game, and we were going over some pregame notes and things, and I called it Mount Pleasant. And he goes, no, wait a minute. It's Mount Juliet, right? And I said, yeah, what did I say? Mount Pleasant. I have no idea, but let's look at these stats. And don't mess with the names here. This is it says Clinton Fulton. They weren't updated, so that's Oak Ridge, and that is Mount Juliet, not Mount Pleasant. First downs 8 and 5, rushing yards 308 to 162, and we're about to get that updated so we know which is which there. But we've just had a tremendous ball game tonight between these two schools. Oak Ridge fell down 14-0, and then I'm kind of looking at you saying, oh boy, we were hoping for a great game. It's not looking like we're going to get one. And then all of a sudden, here comes Joe Gaddis's team. They're fighting, and they are not going to go away easy. Take the lead on this one. In fact, Mount Juliet didn't get the lead back didn't tie the ball game up until 36 seconds left to go in the first half.
Yeah, Oak Ridge just showed out tonight. They've really played hard against a bigger school of Mount Juliet. Defense is playing really tough. Oak Ridge's offensive line is playing really tough. But Gibbons, quarterback for Oak Ridge, has played outstanding. He's done a great job in the option game. He's done a pretty good job in the throw game, minus the early interception for a touchdown. But overall, Oak Ridge is really representing East Tennessee well here tonight.
And we want to say thank you to all of our sponsors tonight for allowing us to make this road trip out to Mount Juliet so that we could bring this coverage to you. These include Liz's Wine and Spirits, a huge supporter of the Wildcats, wishing them the best tonight. Bill Arrowwood, wishing the best for the Wildcats as well. The UPS store in Oak Ridge, reprinting, packaging, packing, shipping, and mailbox center, wishing the Wildcats luck. Call 865-220-9782. And they are located at 1143 Oak Ridge Turnpike in Oak Ridge. Peter's Jewelers in Oak Ridge has in-house watch and jewelry repair, bridal jewelry, a nice selection of fine jewelry, paying the best prices for your gold. Go Wildcats. And then Sexton Automotive of Oak Ridge, offering a large selection of quality pre-owned cars and trucks. Plus, they offer Napa Care Service, and they have a rental department where you can rent vehicles in all sizes, like our van that we brought tonight. Sexton Automotive of Oak Ridge on the Turnpike. Go to sextonautos.com for more information. So Mount Juliet has been hit in the mouth a little bit by this Wildcat team. At halftime, you know that both teams have that opportunity to make adjustments, and to me, I feel like it's Mount Juliet that needs to make the biggest adjustments against this Oak Ridge team and not the other way around.
Well, really and truly, yeah, you're right. Mount Juliet's really shocked right now, to be honest with you. I mean, like I said, everybody, especially in Middle Tennessee, was picking Mount Juliet to win this game big, mainly due to the lack of offensive production out of this Oak Ridge squad. A lot of people felt like Mount Juliet would be able to, score a lot of points in bunches, and Oak Ridge wouldn't be able to keep up. But Oak Ridge is proving them wrong right now. So we've got a good one here tonight. Guys, you need to share this if you're watching on social media. Share this game. Let everybody know back home that we've got a great game here tonight.
Also, some other scores around East Tennessee, as now we have the stats up Mount Juliet, 8 first down, 308 rushing yards, 53 passing yards, 361 total yards, no turnovers, 6 penalties for 85 yards. That's a big stat for me. Those 6 penalties were big penalties. On the other side, you've got Oak Ridge with 5 first downs, 162 rushing yards, 145 passing, a total of 307. 1 turnover, the pick 6 on the very first play of the game. Just 2 penalties for 10 yards, though. And time of possession between these two schools is about even.
Yeah, I mean, it's touch and touch. The biggest difference is the rushing yards that Mount Juliet's been able to put up against this Oak Ridge defense. Oak Ridge is going to have to do a little bit better job slowing that quarterback down and limiting the big plays.
And as we get prepared to wrap up our Jeff Cole halftime show, I want to remind you, go to AndersonCountyClerk.com, see what kind of services are offered there. So Brady Hudson will get set to kick this one deep. Sowell deep to receive for the Mount Juliet Golden Bears. As we have a kickoff sponsored by Regina Copeland, trustee. End over ender. Taken at the 2-yard line. Here's Sowell. Gets it up, across the 15 to the 20, finds a hole, gets to the 30, stops short in his tracks at the 32-yard line, and getting credit for the tackle for Oak Ridge.
We got a score update. Alcoa 56, Kingston 0 is the final.
Okay, so, and we're going to get that, some scores going final before our game tonight because it started 30 minutes after our games in East Tennessee.
Another score update, third quarter, 9:20 left. Anderson County 40, Chattanooga Central 15.
So here's Messenger. Hands off, going around the left side, finding some running room up to the 40-yard line. And that's Conlon Baggett. So that play is good for 9. We'll make it 2nd and 1 for the Golden Bears.
Hurry into the line of scrimmage.
So Messenger, hands off. This again goes to Baggett. Baggett crosses midfield, gets it up to the 45-yard line of Oak Ridge.
This is scripted plays coming in from halftime adjustments. They saw something from the press box that they liked, and they're trying to take advantage of it.
So that will bring up a Hammers 1st and 10 as Mount Juliet goes into hurry-up mode. Handoff again, this time maybe a gainer of 1.
Good job by the Oak Ridge linebackers coming in there and putting a hat on a hat.
And that one went to Devin Palmer. They're going to give him 2. We'll bring up 2nd and 8. And now the Golden Bears going to stop and look to the sidelines to get a play. So they probably scripted their first couple of plays coming out of halftime. Got into Oak Ridge territory, and now here is the 2nd and 8. And Palmer slips and probably gains nothing.
Oak Ridge doing a really good job of shedding blocks and standing up that offensive line, which keeps that running back from being able to identify a hole, and he can't really pick up a gain because he's running into the backs of the offensive linemen. So give credit to the Oak Ridge defensive line. They're really doing a good job of standing them up, mainly in the middle, center guard position.
You saw that on the Ancoria replay. So no gain on the play makes it 3rd and 8, man in motion. That's Baggett. Baggett, the ball's thrown out and intercepted by Oak Ridge.
He's gone.
To the 30, to the 20, to the 10. Touchdown, Oak Ridge. And that is a Tim Shelton touchdown. So Oak Ridge, on its first possession of the game, gives up a pick 6. Mount Juliet, on its first possession of the second half, gives up a pick 6. And the Wildcats are back out front.
Sideline going crazy. This is what you want if you're an Oak Ridge fan. They're pumped up, ready to play. 33-27.
And on to attempt the extra point now for Oak Ridge. It's not their usual kicker. This is actually Camden Malcody. And we've got a stoppage in play. There's a flag. A false start on Oak Ridge.
Another score update, final, Meigs County 24, Oneida 3.
That game was 8-3 entering the fourth quarter. So Meigs County reeled off 2 touchdowns and 2 two-point conversions to make that a final of 24-3. But that game was a lot better than that final score indicates. So here's the extra point. It's up, and it is good. 7-point lead for the Wildcats, and it took just a minute and 55 seconds into the second half.
Watch on the replay here. He throws it a little too far inside, floated that ball. Defender made a great read on the play, and it's just like pitch and catch. Take it to the end zone, baby.
And honestly, that was a terrible pass.
It was a horrible pass.
Messengers,
big benefit for Oak Ridge.
And I don't want to take away, Messengers had such a great game up to this point, but that pass sailed on him big time, and Oak Ridge able to take advantage of it. As on the interception return was Brian Kelly, a freshman. How about that? A freshman coming out to Middle Tennessee in a huge game, able to get that pick 6.
No fear, Aaron. Like I said, this Oak Ridge squad was ready to play tonight. They really came together on this trip by the looks of it. Facing adversity right in the face and showing them, hey, we're from Oak Ridge. We're here to represent East Tennessee, and we're here to kick y'all's rear ends tonight.
So again, a kickoff sponsored by Regina Copeland, trustee. It's Brady Hudson kicking deep to Sowell. Jamari Sowell.
High kick.
End over ender. It bounces at the 10, picked up at about the 5. Sowell reverses his field, and he's going to be pulled down, and we're going to get either a face mask or a horse collar tackle, and that's going to go against Jack Rapogel. Personal foul, so it is a horse collar, and that will cost Oak Ridge 15 yards.
You know, and it is a change in the rules this year for the horse collar. Even if you get the jersey, they'll still call it on you. Let's see here on the replay.
And he does grab him at the nameplate. So he doesn't have to get in behind the shoulder pads like the rule's been in years past. He just has to get at the nameplate, and that's what he did. So here's Messenger on a keeper, falls down, and he's going to lose yardage on the Hammers 1st and 10.
A big hole there, too. So it's unfortunate for them, for him to lose his footing, but he's got to plant with that outside foot, and he had that inside foot too far up, try to plant off that inside foot, and he slid.
Seen a couple slips so far in the second half. There's no precipitation in the air, so it's not that.
No, weather's perfect for football.
So Messenger hands off to Baggett. Baggett gets up to about the 34-yard line, which will bring up a 3rd and long, about a 3rd and 7, in fact.
And a change of personnel coming in for Mount Juliet, bringing in some extra wide receiver skill type guys. Getting the play from the sideline.
And Baggett didn't really secure that handoff right away.
You did, and if the press box was paying attention on that last play, you got a slot wide receiver that was running wide open.
So here is Messenger in some trouble, has to run. He's going to be sacked from behind, and credit Jackson Adams for that one. 4th down.
8:25 left in the 3rd, and Oak Ridge is playing some great football. Broke contain. The defensive ends of Oak Ridge have got to do a little bit better job of keeping that quarterback in the pocket, but hey, they got a good play.
So Jackson Adams, and a little bit of extracurricular there, Jackson Adams will get credit for the tackle, but credit Isaiah Boone for also being there. So after the punt, Oak Ridge will have good field position here from the Wildcat 35-yard lines, where it will be a Hammers 1st and 10.
I don't know what the average play is for Oak Ridge of running that triple option, but it's been a high average per play anytime they've ran that zone read play. So let's see what they elect to do here early. Zone read.
Handoff. Goes to Jackson. Jackson just nailed A great tackle there, a loss of 3. And again, Gibbons fakes that handoff to Romano, but keeps it and then pitches it out to Jackson. And that time, Mount Juliet was waiting for it.
Yeah, the defensive backs for Mount Juliet just red run the whole time. If you can fake that, play again here shortly and throw the ball down the field like you did earlier, you'll catch them again. If they could have done that on that play, that's another big game.
Gibbons sends a man in motion. That's Romano. Handoff goes up the middle to Jackson. Gets up to about the original line of scrimmage.
Offensive line getting a really good push there. Running back getting what he can.
All right, so that will bring up a 2nd and 10. Actually, that'll be a 3rd and 10. They just haven't changed it yet. There it goes. As we see on the Ancoria replay.
Pressure situations. Let's see some play action here.
Gibbons just going to roll to his right to look downfield. Has a man. That pass is incomplete.
Penalty.
And the intended target was Jonathan Stewart, and we do have a penalty flag down. And we have the advantage of replay as Stewart slaps hands with someone on the Mount Juliet sidelines. So let's see. There is Stewart coming out of his break, and yeah, he's got a defender there a little bit early.
That's pass interference. It's easy call.
That's a very great call there by the officials. And the Mount Juliet fans don't like it, but we have the advantage of replay, so we know that was a good call.
It really was.
So that's going to bring up a Hammers 1st and 10 at the Wildcat 45-yard line.
Another score update. Loudon 37, Sweetwater nothing is the final.
Gibbons takes the snap. Handoff this time goes to Romano. Romano picks up 4.
Good hard run and impose your will on these smaller defensive linemen for Mount Juliet. You got to be physical. You got to be aggressive. And so far tonight, Oak Ridge has done that. They definitely look like a different squad than we saw against Knox West a couple weeks ago. Wouldn't you agree, Aaron?
I would absolutely agree. And West is one of the premier teams in the whole state of Tennessee. So you expect Oak Ridge to maybe lose that game, but Oak Ridge never really competitive in that one. This Oak Ridge team tonight would be competitive with that West team. So here's Gibbons. Handoff goes to Romano. Makes a couple guys miss. Still on his feet. Gets up to the 33-yard line of Mount Juliet, and that's another Hammers 1st and 10, but there's a flag on the play.
It's an area holding.
This is coming back. Holding on Oak Ridge. That's a big one.
That is a big one. See if we can catch that on the Ancora replay.
Hard to see it there.
I couldn't see it.
Maybe.
Didn't see it on the replay, but
I don't really have a pointer to circle where that might have been, but needless to say, it's going to bring up 2nd and 16.
that's a drive killer. You can't have that.
It is a drive killer. You got to be hopeful, though, if you're an Oak Ridge fan, because you saw Romano pull off that huge gainer there, and the Wildcats are having success running the football. But in a hole this time. Here's a quick out to Romano. Makes the first guy miss. The second guy miss. The third guy miss. And finally tackled at the 46-yard line. Just a pickup of about 6, maybe 7. And it'll still be 3rd and long, but that's a good pickup on 2nd down.
He is demanding touches. You can't not go to him tonight. I mean, he has been Mr. Playmaker. It's a good job getting the running back the ball in his hands on the move forward, which allowed for a big gain. Yards after contact. That's what you look for.
So Oak Ridge has it 3rd and 9. Gibbons gets the play from the sidelines.
And the
tells
whole
it to his
crowd
team.
is in it right now.
Gibbons with 4 on the play clock, snaps it, 3-step drop, looks way downfield, has no man there. In fact, this is picked off.
Triple coverage.
Going back the other direction, across the 40, up to the 47, across the 45 to midfield, and he'll be dropped out of bounds at the 49, and we have a late hit out of bounds, which will tack 15 on it as well. So after the interception, Mount Juliet returns it to the Oak Ridge 49. They'll get 15 more yards at that, and now it will be, the ball will be spotted at the 34-yard line for the Golden Bears.
The bad just got worse. You can't have a penalty on top of that, but you see Oak Ridge, they got to work on being able to read different plays. He threw the ball, and there's 4 defenders on the play.
Yeah, not a good decision there by Mitchell Gibbons.
No, you're going to have a minimum of 2 to 3 reads, 2 reads minimum on the play for the quarterback. That's unfortunate there for Oak Ridge.
And that's not the guy you want to throw it to either. That's Malik Bowen. Now here's Baggett in the backfield. And let's say he picks up 1. We'll bring up 2nd and 9.
Oak Ridge defensive line just refusing to be blocked on the play. Getting the play from the offensive coordinator on the sidelines.
Messenger throws it out to his playmaker. I believe that's Sowell. It is Sowell, and he will have enough for a first down.
Get your speedster in open field, and special things can happen.
That'll make it a Hammers 1st and 10. Ball spotted about the 23-yard line.
Got to get some penetration.
Messenger gets it out to Bowen. Bowen crosses the 20, slips down at about the 16. A pickup of 7 makes it 2nd and 3.
Let's see what happens on the slip. He just lost his footing.
We've seen that a lot.
Yeah.
Here's handoff, goes to Baggett up the middle, finds some running room, and brought down. On the stop is Rapogel.
Good secure tackle by Rapogel there. Came up there, kept his head across the far shoulder, made a secure tackle. Not too bad. Hey, let's make them work for it right here for Oak Ridge. You want to limit the possessions here. You want to be able to fight. Make them work for it.
1st and goal, handoff goes up the middle, and it's Devin Palmer in for the Tim Shelton touchdown.
33-34. This is a big kick here.
If they even kick it. We have seen Mount Juliet fail a 2-point conversion. I don't think they're going to do that again, though, as Tyler Johnson does line up to attempt the extra point.
Pressure.
Snap, set, kick. Right through the uprights, and we've got a tie ball game. 34 all, 2:46 left to go in the 3rd quarter, and we've got a flag on the play.
Looks like a potential roughing the kicker by Oak Ridge.
And that will be assessed on the kickoff. So 34 all is our score on the OEB Law game of the week. Welcome back into our OEB Law game of the week. Mount Juliet responds off an interception, puts 7 points on the board to tie this ball game up at 34 apiece. Gosh, I gotta say, coming into this game, if you'd have told me that before the end of the 3rd quarter we'd have 68 points total on the board, I probably wouldn't have believed you.
Yeah, I wouldn't either. And let's just be honest, Oak Ridge has struggled all year long offensively. They've been sort of predictable most of the season. So it's a good change since we saw them a couple weeks ago against West. Joe Gaddis changing some stuff up, going against what he traditionally does. A lot of still the same fundamentals, but they're being more aggressive.
Tyler Johnson set to kick off, sponsored by Regina Copeland, trustee. Back deep to receive it is Hayward, who's just going to let it go into the end zone after that 5-yard penalty. So, Oak Ridge will take over at the Wildcat 20-yard line with 2:46 left to go in the third quarter. We've got a great ball game here.
We really do. And we got another score update. Rockwood 35, Wartburg 0. That is a final.
And that will eliminate the Bulldogs from playoff contention.
John Webb coming in strong in the last half of the season, pulling off a playoff appearance here.
That's very John Webb of him, I would say. So Oak Ridge with an opportunity to break the tie here, 80 yards away from it.
And if I'm Joe Gaddis, I'm running some more zone read, triple option stuff out of this shotgun.
So here's Mitchell Gibbons. Handoff.
Go.
Is taken up to the 23-yard line. Tyrell Romano picks up about 3. Will bring up 2nd and 7.
Oak Ridge offensive line doing a pretty good job of getting to the second level there. I wish he could have bounced that outside a little bit more there. Could have possibly picked up another 2-3 yards. Good job. And this home crowd from Mount Juliet is really in this game. The press box is vibrating.
Gibbons, handoff, Romano plunges ahead to about the 28-yard line. He'll need 2 more to pick up the first down on a 3rd and 2.
And Mount Juliet is getting a good taste of East Tennessee football. Those linebackers and DBs are not liking coming up and hitting these running backs of Oak Ridge. You see there, he actually gets up with a little bit of an injury. So Oak Ridge is playing some physical football.
That was Kenneth Conley taking the brunt of that Romano run.
And like I said, Oak Ridge is playing different tonight, guys. They are fired up, and it's really good to see.
Gibbons takes a snap, keeps it, running around the left side, has a lot of running room up to the 45-yard line. A great pickup that time of 17 yards will make it a Hammers 1st and 10.
He juked everyone out on that fake there. He had everybody in the home crowd cheering for a loss. He kept the ball around the corner and picked up a big gain. And there, what you'd like to see on that quarterback, go ahead and keep that eye ready for a potential pitch. If he could have pitched that there late down the field, that's a touchdown play.
You don't have to pitch it behind the line of scrimmage. You can pitch it anywhere as long as it goes backwards.
His running back did a good job trailing the quarterback the whole time. The quarterback is electing to keep the ball.
Man in motion.
That swing route.
In fact, Romano's going to keep it.
He is running hard, Aaron.
He is. Pick up a 3, will make it 2nd and 7.
Every time he's getting the ball, there's a Mount Juliet defender getting up slow.
So Oak Ridge doesn't have to run another play in the third quarter, as we see on the Ann Coria public defender replay.
You see that he's just twisting and spinning and picking up anything that he can pick up. That's what you want to see out of a running back.
Oak Ridge came to Mount Juliet ready to play some football. They have done that, and the Wildcats are confident to take this tie game into the fourth quarter, which is exactly what they will do. It's 34-all. We've got a good one. Fourth quarter action coming up. This is the OEB Law Game of the Week. Welcome back to the OEB Law Game of the Week. Rick Chin, Oak Ridge Mayor Pro Tem, wishes the Wildcats good luck in this fourth quarter tonight. Attorney Jim Norman, a member of the 1979 state championship game, wishes them a good luck as well as we get ready to start this fourth quarter, 2nd and 7 for this Oak Ridge Wildcat team. Mitchell Gibbons in the backfield.
Corner blitz.
Jackson, handoff, nothing. In fact, a loss of probably 3 on the play. will bring up 3rd and 9.
Mount Juliet sending the corner blitz there. That's the Duke commit coming in heavy. And luckily, Oak Ridge was running away from that play. If that had been a triple option this way, that could have been an ugly play. We got a score update out of Knoxville. Hardin Valley 14, Jefferson County 0 final.
So Jefferson County, after starting the season 3-0, not having much success anymore. Here's Gibbons on 3rd and 9, drops straight back to pass, now rolls to his right, looks downfield, has a man there, diving out of bounds, makes the catch.
Yeah, back judge calling it complete.
Oh, okay, well, now they're calling it incomplete.
We had 2 different calls on the play. He got overruled.
Wow, I thought that was going to be complete.
Well, the referee that was in the best position actually called a catch. Watch him running up here. He's calling. You can't see him on the replay, but he was calling catch.
And we've got a block punt picked up by Mount Juliet, and the Golden Bears are going to have golden field position to begin this next possession.
That's a heartbreaker if you're Oak Ridge. You can't have that with 11 minutes left in the 4th quarter tie ball game. That's a tough one there.
That is a breaker of the back. So the ball is spotted at the 37-yard line. Correction, the 27-yard line.
If Oak Ridge has played any defense all year, they need you now.
Handoff, Baggett up the middle. Not much. Jacob Adams there to help make the stop for Oak Ridge. We'll give him 2.5. We'll call it 2nd and a long 7.
Get penetration.
Messenger loses the football. It's on the ground. And Messenger able to fall back on it. But that is the 2nd time Messenger has dropped the football, and it's been unforced.
Yeah, he's going to have to get some of that stickum. If you remember that movie Little Giants, they put some of that tar leather or whatever that was on his hands. He was able to catch everything, and I think he needs to invest in some of that because he's letting the ball slip out of his hands way too much to be a quarterback.
3rd and 12 for the Golden Bears. Messenger takes a snap, looks, drops back to pass, lets her fly, and there's nobody there. Nobody. So we had a miscommunication on that one, I'm sure.
And it looked like his target was going to be the Duke commit. The Duke commit, and he went inside when the quarterback was expecting him to go to the outside. His release was a little funky there, sort of sidearm throw. So it doesn't look like too much of a passing threat. But when you got a wide receiver sitting over there like he does, I'm throwing the ball.
So here's Tyler Johnson on to attempt the 46-yard field goal to take the lead. And that's a good point, but it's blocked. And it's blocked, and it doesn't matter because this is going to be Oak Ridge's football regardless.
What a response by this Oak Ridge football team. Big interception or big punt block, and here comes Oak Ridge, blocks the field goal. You can't ask for a better ball game, guys. Listen, if you're from Oak Ridge, you need to be sharing this live feed all over social media because we have a ball game here tonight.
We certainly do, as Oak Ridge will have it with a Hammers 1st and 10 from the Wildcat 49-yard line. Wow. So Mitchell Gibbons comes back onto the field. Under 10 to play in this one. Wildcats with good position.
Let's run some more triple option here, guys. Here we go.
Gibbons handoff. Jackson picks up a yard.
Well, I'm telling you, if they can block long enough, fake that triple option play with a play action, come up and throw it deep, he's going to catch them because these DBs are really biting hard on the run. Them wide receivers could squeak wide open if they really push it hard.
You're going to give him 1.5. We'll call it 2nd and a long 8. What a game we've got tonight. Gibbons. On a reverse.
Here we go.
Going back the other direction. And a pickup of just about 6. And that time getting the reverse was Jaden Williams, just a freshman on this team.
And Todd Harris, the DB, 5'9", 170-pound senior, came up with a really good tackle. If he doesn't make this tackle, he's still running.
So 3rd and 3.
Joe Gaddis has a playbook 5 inches thick for 3rd and short.
Ten on the play clock. Gibbons gets the snap. Handoff goes to Romano. Picks up the first down and more. Cross the 35, cross the 30, cross the 25, down to the 16-yard line. Oak Ridge in the red zone in business. Hammers 1st and 10.
Not much of a hole, just enough of a hole. He's probably cramping up a little bit right now. Players calling the trainer on the sideline. Look at this replay. Good blocking, good run. Just a little bit of a movement to pick up another 5 to 10 yards. It looks like he's cramping up.
I hope it's a cramp, but if you looked at the Ancoria replay, and they're stretching him out like it is a cramp, I hope it's a cramp. But as he was going down, his leg flung around and was hit. But the way they're stretching him would indicate that is just a cramp.
Yeah, that looks like a calf cramp, and those are awful. Your calf ends up on your shin, and it'll make anybody squeal. I don't care how tough you are.
So as they look at Romano, we'll take a break. 34 all in our OEB Law Game of the Week. Welcome back to the OEB Law Game of the Week. Romano injured. He's keeping that leg straight. Received some fluids. Looks like it's just a cramp in that left leg. Oak Ridge needs to get him hydrated, needs to go eat some bananas, because the Wildcats in a dogfight here with just 8:23 left to go in this game inside the red zone. Hammers 1st and 10 from the Mount Juliet Golden Bear 17-yard line. A new formation for Gibbons with Romano out of the game. A pistol formation. Jackson in the backfield. Handoff. Nope. A keeper, quarterback keeper, and Gibbons gets it up to close to the 6-yard line. That should be enough for a Hammers 1st and goal.
The defensive end outside linebacker that has quarterback on any type of option play.
A pistol formation.
Jackson in the backfield, handoff.
He should have been keying on that quarterback the whole time. He has inside help. So Oak Ridge is really taking advantage of the poor discipline by their...
Yeah, you could see on the Ancoria replay that defensive end, like you're talking about, went straight after Jackson and left nothing for Gibbons.
Yeah, you've got to take quarterback. You got to have discipline on the option play. We've got another score update. Fulton 24, Campbell County 6. That is the final.
All right, so the Falcons trying to put themselves in playoff position. Handoff, Jackson up the middle, still on his feet, fighting for yardage, still on his feet. It is a Tim Shelton touchdown.
Hang a cape with an S off his back, because he's playing like Superman here tonight.
Wow, he just squirted out of there.
He refused to go down. They are playing great football.
Unbelievable. 7.5 minutes to play. Oak Ridge is taking the lead. So, to attempt the extra point, a very important extra point. And it is up, and it is true. 34-41. Reading the score from left to right. 7.5 to play as we check out this Ancoria replay. I have no idea how Kendall Jackson did not go down. And I don't think Mount Pleasant knows either. Mount Juliet.
Mount Juliet. I tell you, Oak Ridge is just playing big boy football tonight. They want this game, and they want it bad. They've made this 2.5-hour trip down to Nashville worthwhile, and the Wildcat fans, faithful that has traveled with them, has their back. So this is a special game here tonight, and Oak Ridge is looking for a major upset. Again, Mount Juliet is a lot bigger school than Oak Ridge, with 700 and plus kids, more to choose from. So this Mount Juliet team is they've got a lot of talent to choose from. So this is a great game for Oak Ridge. This could really spring them forward in the playoffs.
So Greg and Beth Palmer on board for this one, wishing the Wildcats best of luck for the rest of the game, as well as District Attorney General for the 7th Judicial District, Dave Clark. They all say, go Wildcats, bring this win home to East Tennessee as we get set for the Regina Copeland Trustee kickoff. So here's Hudson's kickoff. It is end over ender, fielded at about the 6-yard line by Sowell. And Sowell's going to be wrapped up and dropped, and that's probably the best coverage Oak Ridge has had tonight on that young man. And Sowell jawing.
He better be careful.
He's
going
still
to get another
jawing.
penalty. And another score 8 update. Gibbs 56, Lenore City 21 final.
Ouch. So we see on this Ancorio replay, Oak Ridge did a lot better that time on their kickoff return coverage. And trying to see what Sal was so upset about. Couldn't really see anything there.
Teddy Boy's upset about is 41-34.
So here is a storyline to look at. Swoner back in the game for Messenger. As on that Hammers 1st and 10, you get a pickup of 4.
And guys, don't blink an eye, because this offense of Mount Juliet has the capability of scoring bunches in seconds, guys. They are very talented.
Handoff goes to Baggett. Baggett blocked up in the middle by Jacob Adams. A pickup of probably about 1 will bring up 3rd and 4. But again, Steven Swoner in the game for Mount Juliet, as we've seen Bryce Messenger all game long.
Jacob Adams is putting on a defensive clinic here tonight. He is fighting for every tackle with the big club on his hand. He's the legit deal at linebacker.
Big 3rd down here. Swoner trying to draw Oak Ridge off sides. Now looks to the sideline as the play clock is at about 10 seconds. Handoff goes up the middle to Baggett. Baggett is going to be close to the 1st down. I believe he's going to have it. So Conlon Baggett picks up the Hammers 1st and 10.
On the replay here, you see that strong safety come up there and lay the wood to the running back of Mount Juliet. That's what you're looking for, as a DB to be able to come and help in run support.
And that was Jack Rapogel. Handoff, Baggett finds some yardage, picks up about 3 on this one.
Kind of an ugly draw play. I don't know if that fooled anybody in the stands. But I'm still surprised by the limited targets to the Duke commit at the wide receiver position for Mount Juliet. I don't care what you got to do. You jet sweeps, anything you can do to incorporate him into this game plan, you got to be able to do it. He is too good of an athlete not to get the ball in his hands.
And now drops back to pass, and that pass is almost picked off. Attempted that time for Tayshawn Thompson. But that pass was almost picked off, and this is a position where Mount Juliet has a sophomore quarterback in there. And boy, that was a great play that time. And let's see, looked like Preston Turner there, almost getting that interception for Oak Ridge. So now we got a big 3rd down here, 3rd and 7. Drops straight back to pass, looks. Now we'll run. No, he won't. Sacked. And that is Matthew Calhoun, a senior on this team. And Mount Juliet is sending the punt team in. Oak Ridge is starting to feel it.
Oak Ridge is feeling it, and they got that sack with sending 4, which is what you want as a defensive coordinator.
That's what you call a coverage sack.
That's it. Good punt.
Oh, man. And your skin is crawling right now.
You got to catch the football up there in that field. You got to catch it. You don't want to give them any free yardage.
Rapogel was back there, and yeah,
Look,
so
you catch it right there on what, the 28-yard line?
Yeah.
Now you've got the ball on what, the 12?
yeah,
That's a big field position difference, and you see it way too often in high school football. Just they need a lot more coaching on the special team side of the ball in East Tennessee.
fourth quarter, 4:44 left to go, 41-34, your score. Hammers first and 10 for Oak Ridge.
Mount Juliet begging Oak Ridge to run the football.
And Oak Ridge will. Handoff. Goes to Romano back in the game. He's carrying defenders.
Hey, he is begging for player of the game. He is playing dominating football at the running back position. He is not coming down on first contact and continuing to drive those feet forward.
And that stop is made. Let's look at the Ann Coria
Look at
replay.
this. Refusing
What
to
a
go
man.
down.
That is a man's run right there. A pickup of 13 yards is good enough for another Hammers first and 10. And you said Mount Juliet is begging Oak Ridge to run the football. Mount Juliet is looking for a run here because they know it keeps the clock moving.
I don't understand the defensive philosophy there, but hey, they're showing it, and Oak Ridge took advantage of it, and they're still begging Oak Ridge to run the football here.
Handoff. Romano spins forward. Not much there that time.
Got beat up front a little bit, missed a hole, and was able to pick up a short gain on the play.
But the clock continues to run. 3:45 now left to go in this fourth quarter. And the Golden Bears have 3 timeouts, which I'm sure if Oak Ridge can keep this drive alive a little bit longer, they'll start calling.
Oh, yeah. If I'm Oak Ridge, I'm not snapping the ball until there's about 2 seconds left on the clock. Let's see if they trust that quarterback to be able to make that decision.
So Mitchell Gibbons gets the call from the sidelines. 10 seconds on the play clock. 5 seconds on the play clock. Gibbons watching it run down. Asks for the snap. 1 second on the play clock. Handoff. Romano going around the right side, finding some yardage. Gets up close to the first down. It's going to be stopped at the 34. Had to make the 35. 3rd and short coming up.
Very close. I'm demanding a measurement. It's so close.
This is a huge 3rd down because if Oak Ridge makes this 3rd down, then Mount Juliet will have to start calling their timeouts.
I'm handing the ball off to you-know-who right here. He's been Mr. Unstoppable. Feed the beast. Let him get 1 yard.
I'm taking the handoff to him, and I'm running the quarterback around the end. Let's see what happens here. 5 on the play clock. Gibbons. Handoff goes to Jackson. Jackson has enough for the Hammers first down.
Good play, first down. 2 minutes and 16 seconds left in this ball game, and Oak Ridge is marching.
And now Mount Juliet is going to have to start taking timeouts. And that's exactly what they do. 2:16 left to go in this game. Oak Ridge getting closer and closer to a huge road victory in our OEB Law Game of the Week. Back into our OEB Law Game of the Week. Liz's Wine and Spirits, a huge supporter of the Wildcats, wishes them the best of luck in the final 2:16 of this game. Bill Arrowwood also wishing the best for the Wildcats to close out this game against Mount Juliet. So Gibbons out of the timeout. Doesn't really have to run the play clock down as the clock is stopped. A big 3rd down here, or I'm sorry, a Hammers first and 10. Gibbons, handoff Romano, of course. Romano finding running room up the right side. Picks up 10, picks up 12, picks up 15. Hammers first and 10.
I'm telling you, he's beast mode tonight. He's on a different playing level tonight than everyone else in this game. He is a really good running back. He is fighting for everything he gets.
Handoff Romano,
of course, Romano.
He's played everything, and he's carrying defenders for 10+ yards.
Mount Juliet is tired.
Yeah, they're tired. They haven't played this type of physical football here lately, I can tell you that for sure. They haven't responded too well to Oak Ridge, punching them in the mouth and running that football out.
So Gibbons with 3 on the play clock, looks up, 1 on the play clock, snaps the football. It goes this time to Jackson. Kendall Jackson around the left side, gets up to the 45-yard line. Pick up 3 will bring up 2nd and 7.
Good job by Gibbons of snapping the ball with 1 left on the play clock.
And Mount Juliet will take another timeout. The UPS store in Oak Ridge, your printing, packing, shipping, and mailbox center is wishing the Wildcats good luck. Call 865-220-9782, located at 1143 Oak Ridge Turnpike in Oak Ridge. Peter's Jewelers in Oak Ridge has in-house watch and jewelry repair, bride jewelry, a nice selection of fine jewelry, paying the best prices for your gold. Go Wildcats. And Sexton Automotive of Oak Ridge, offering a large selection of quality pre-owned cars and trucks. Plus, they offer Napa Care service and have a rental department where you can rent vehicles of all sizes, like the van that we rented to get us here tonight. Sexton Automotive of Oak Ridge on the Turnpike. Visit sextonautos.com. So you see the timeouts listed there. Mount Juliet with just 1 remaining, and Oak Ridge with all 3. Not that that matters. Oak Ridge, basically, you pick up a first down here, and this game is over.
It is. And you're celebrating all the way back home. This is a huge game for Oak Ridge. This is going to build a lot of momentum for them if they can seal the deal here. I'm running the football, handing that ball off to my 2 beasts in the backfield, and getting out here with a W.
Gibbons takes a snap. Handoff goes to Jackson. Jackson makes the first guy miss, not the 2nd and 3rd. He's piled up. No gain on the play. We'll bring up 3rd and 7. And Mount Juliet will take their final timeout of the game with 1:19 left to go in this one. So, Rick Chan, Oak Ridge Mayor Pro Tem, wishes the Wildcats good luck for the rest of the season, maybe for the rest of this game, but it looks like Oak Ridge might pull this one out. And coming in this game, I never would have thought that Oak Ridge would be in a position to run the clock out. And that's what they're doing against this Mount Juliet team. They're just running it straight down their throats.
They are. Mount Juliet had no answer. They did not respond well to the physicality of the running backs of Oak Ridge and the Oak Ridge offensive line, which created a lot of plays for the quarterback to be able to fake that dive, run around the corner on option plays, and they've sliced them up here tonight. Mount Juliet has sort of been wide-eyed all night long since early in the game. So it's been a great game tonight, guys.
Greg and Beth Palmer wishing the best of luck to the Wildcats for the next 119 of this game and for the rest of the season moving forward. Joe Gaddis's club trying to wrap this one up. 3rd and 7, Gibbons in the backfield. Takes the snap. Handoff goes to Romano. Romano stacked up. Pickup of 1 will bring up a 4th and 6. So Mount Juliet cannot stop the clock. And Oak Ridge will probably run this one down and take a timeout. Wouldn't you think? Run it down 40 seconds.
I'm running it, even if I have to take a penalty here, but I'm going to run it all the way down to 1 second, call timeout.
Oak Ridge with those 3 timeouts remaining.
And even if you take a delay of game penalty, it does no harm here. Punt that ball out of bounds as close to the end zone as you can.
Now remember, though, on the last punt attempt by Oak Ridge, it was blocked. So Oak Ridge will call a timeout. They've got 60 seconds to talk about how they're going to not get this punt blocked on our OEB Law Game of the Week. So,
score update real quick. Anderson County 47, Chattanooga Central 15 in the 4th.
No surprise there. Bill Arrowwood wishing the best for the Wildcats for the rest of this game. Don't get that punt blocked. Liz's Wine and Spirits, a huge supporter of the Wildcats, wishing them the best as well. The UPS store in Oak Ridge, your printing, packing, shipping, and mailbox center, wishing the Wildcats luck. Hoping Joe Gaddis and crew close this one out. Call 865-220-9782. The UPS store located at 1143 Oak Ridge Turnpike in Oak Ridge.
Aaron, we have another score update. Knox West 14, Knoxville Powell 14, fourth quarter.
Boy, that is every bit as good as everyone thought it could be.
Yeah, that's a doozy down there. But we have a doozy right here in Middle Tennessee with Oak Ridge representing East Tennessee majorly.
So Oak Ridge gave up a punt block on the last punt attempt. Mount Juliet knows that. And actually, the Wildcats come out with the offense on the field, maybe trying to draw Mount Juliet offsides. No, they snap it. And we've got a screen pass. Romano, pass complete. First down, ball game. That's gonna do it.
Wow.
What a gutsy call by Coach Joe Gaddis.
Gutsy's an understatement. And what I said at the beginning of this ball game, for them to win this game, they had to be aggressive. They had to take shots down the field. And guess what they just did? They were aggressive and threw the ball down the field. I wouldn't have called this play, but that's why Joe Gaddis is down there on that sideline making these type of plays. That's an impressive play call, gutsy play call, and it worked out.
That is the final play of the game. Gibbons, under pressure, falls off, throws off his back foot, and then Tyrell Romano.
It's party time in Oak Ridge, Aaron. This is a big win for this program.
Wow, I cannot believe what I just saw. Romano had to pick that ball up around his kneecaps, and that is the final score. Oak Ridge comes to Mount Juliet and pulls off a huge win, 41-34. I can't believe it. I can't believe it.
It's a great game. 5A Oak Ridge travels all the way 2.5 hours to Mount Juliet, Tennessee. 6A, and supposedly one of the best 6A programs in the state of Tennessee. Oak Ridge drives down here and gives them a butt whooping.
So Oak Ridge started the season, what, 1-4?
Yes.
Or 1-3, I mean?
Something in there, 1-3, I believe.
And so now the Wildcats sit at 5-3 on the year. And what a huge victory to come down and get just 2 games remaining in Oak Ridge's season. And they've got a lot of momentum, got to have a lot of momentum coming from this one to get that win.
The last 3 games for Oak Ridge, you ready for this?
Yes.
128 points scored. So let me tell you, after that Knox West game, they had to look each other in the face and in the mirror, and they changed some stuff up offensively, which they were really needing, and scored 128 points in the last 3 games. That's impressive.
So Oak Ridge gets the win against Mount Juliet. Player of the game has got to be Tyrell Romano.
Oh, no question. He played lights out tonight. Really ran hard the entire game, played physical football, and he dominated down here tonight. He led this Oak Ridge team, and I tell you who came in a close second for me with Oak Ridge was Gibbons at the quarterback position. And I know it started rough with an early interception, pick 6, and he really settled down, started running the option really well, controlled the game with his feet and decision making, and Oak Ridge got out of here with a huge win.
I mean, you wouldn't know it by looking at the final score. You wouldn't know it if you just saw the second half, didn't catch the beginning of the game. Oak Ridge fell down 14-0 in this game.
Everything was going towards Mount Juliet's way. Turnovers, mental issues, play calling, and then all of a sudden, the lights came on, and Oak Ridge just started dominating up front and at the running back position. And you see them down there. Look at them. They're all smiling. Winning feels good. And they're on a winning streak right now, and look for them to continue to have success on the second half of this season. And this win will spring them forward majorly. They're starting to believe in themselves. These younger players have stepped up for Oak Ridge. And I tell you, I'm impressed with this Oak Ridge team.
I am too. We saw them at West. They couldn't move the football. They couldn't do anything against West.
The game looked too big for them against West.
Yeah, and granted, okay, let's give West a lot of credit. They're going to be competing for a 5A championship this year. They're going to be. West, Powell, Central, they're all going to be in there competing for that championship. But West disposed of Oak Ridge way too easily in that game. And Oak Ridge has responded since then.
It left a sour taste in a lot of Oak Ridge fans' mouth. They were asking a lot of questions and bringing a lot of heat. So there was a lot of talk going on over there in Oak Ridge of people that's unhappy. So it was a good win. Look at them celebrating tonight. It's going to be a party in Oak Ridge tonight, and a great bus ride home. And this is a good team building opportunity for them. So look for them to really learn from this and continue to have success in the later half of the season.
So what a year that we have had. We've had some really good football games. I've enjoyed it all season long, and for this to be the latest game, this is the best football game I've seen in a long time.
Look how even the stats are.
Yeah, so 13 first downs for both teams. Rushing yards, 364 to 345. Now, passing yards, Oak Ridge has got them there. Oak Ridge with 163, Mount Juliet with 67.
Unexpected.
Yeah, total yards, 508.
For Oak Ridge, 508 total yards offense.
They came in and did that to a 6A school on the road. And like I said, we saw them against West. They couldn't move the football at all. It was a terrible performance, terrible offensive performance. And then tonight, they show up with a 508-yard performance. 2 turnovers on the night, 2 interceptions. Penalties, 6 penalties for 55 yards. That's a really good stat for Oak Ridge. And let's see. Powell and West are tied in the fourth quarter and actually going into overtime. So, how about that?
That's a big game. And one of those two teams is going to be it's a special year down there in Knoxville. East Tennessee is loaded with talent, and I can see several golden balls coming back to East Tennessee this year.
I can as well. So, it's a final here in Oak Ridge. So, Mount Juliet, 34. Oak Ridge, 41. The Wildcats go on the road, get the victory over the 6A opponent. Stay tuned now for the 5-Star Preps Friday night scoreboard show on BBB TV, Channel 12. For James Gibson, I'm Aaron Harvey. Good night, everyone.